It's much better.
Oh,
It's better in person.
So coming to talk to us already to congratulations, 21st studio album. I mean, the numbers are unbelievable. Only the Strong survive.
Yeah.
Great collection of soul and R&B songs. I have to say, I mean, just that opener, that opening track it just gets you right here in your heart, and you sing "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore."
Oh,
It's like when you think about it, so many people have covered your songs, you know, Bowie, Jimmy Cash, Amy Winehouse, everyone. For you to cover these people who are your heroes as well.
Well, Scott Walker, the incredible voice, you know. So I said, I'm not going to sing it that well, but I'll find a way to sing it for myself, you know. And I just love that song. I love that song so much.
Your version is incredible as well. It sounds like you have loads of fun here. And then Sam Moore of South
Yeah, probably the greatest living soul singer of that era that we have still with us, and he's a great guy and incredible singer, and so I'm lucky enough to have him sing with me on a few cuts, and his voice is, he's 86, his voice is still great. Still great.
Isn't that an effort though for keeping on love it not stop?
86 is not, it's not that far away. You know? It's like, I'll still be doing it then.
Good. Also, you know, you've been quite hard on yourself about your own voice, and here on this record, your voice is very much front and centre.
Yeah.
And sounding just so soulful. It's you must be really pleased with the record.
Yeah, it's you know, usually when you're a writer and a band leader and an arranger, all of those things are forefront in your mind, and your vocal is something you usually do last or you give the least thought to. So, you know, I'm always concerned about fronting the band, and the nice thing about this record is those things sort of, I have a great producer, like I said, Ron Angiello, who takes care of a lot of that work, and I can just focus on my voice, which I hadn't really done, and I was giving my voice a little short shrift because I was basically a bar singer, you know, and I came up in clubs, and I have a really workhorse of a voice. I can sing for hours, and it doesn't bother me, you know, and so I've had a very durable and great journeyman's voice all these years, you know. But I said, well, let me try to push it into something a little bit more, you know, on this record. So it was fun.
It's good to do that, isn't it? To try sounding so good. You just recently become a grandfather for the first time. How is the
Wait, I have a picture.
love?
No.
I know, completely. How's that relationship? How are you doing now?
That's good.
Best love.
You know, Patty and I was our kids were young, and nobody was talking about having babies, and I get to see some grandkids. I don't know, you know. And then my son, who was a fireman in Jersey City, New Jersey, had this fabulous woman that he met, and they had this wonderful little girl, Lily Harper, and it's great. It's like we're like stunned. You know, we have a baby in the house again, which is being in the house is a magical thing. I had a younger sister who was 13 years younger than me, so I was a teenager when she was born, and so my memories of having a small child and a baby in the house were always really in my house growing up. For some reason, it smoothed over all the rough spots, and it was such a wonderful thing to focus on. So having a baby again in the house has been a great thing for us.
You're just surrounded by love.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely relationship as well. You know, grandchildren and grandparents. When you started out and you were, you know, playing around, is it true that you used to have like 5 or 6 different set lists that you would play depending on where you were?
Yeah, I alter the set list depending on where I am all the time. On the last tour, the E Street Band played to stick to a relatively limited amount. So I'm very proud of the fact that my guys can like on a dime and play something that they haven't played in years or haven't heard in a long time. So our set list is, in the beginning of the tour, it stays a certain way until we loosen up, and then we switch things up all the time, and it's good for fans, particularly fans that come. I have very dedicated fans who come to more than one show, or come, if we play 2 or 3 nights in a venue, and so I like to play a different show, somewhat different show every night for so it's.
You're over in June, Birmingham.
Yeah.
Anything else? Maybe in the summer?
Oh, I think it's all pretty set, but I love coming over here. We have incredible fans in the UK.
Yeah.
We really do. And I'm excited about this record here because I know our UK fans are such big soul fanatics. My music over here has had a second life that, for one reason or another, it doesn't always have in the States. The States are funny, even our biggest audiences are here, throughout Europe, for the E Street Band. We're much bigger here than we are, and it's so deeply appreciated after all the years we've been coming over here and playing. But it's a different audience. There's a level of dedication that we find here that is unique, and not just for us, but for so many American artists, jazz artists, and R&B artists in the past. They come over and found a second home here, which is really it's something we appreciate people, and so I love coming over and playing.
I'd say in returning, you do bring us the most amazing shows. I got in trouble actually. I was working on the Isle of Wight Festival with Joe Wiley's on Radio 2, and we were supposed to be hosting together, and you were playing, and I kept running out on this walkway to watch you, and then, get back in the stage. And I'm watching for you. It was absolutely amazing.
That was a fun show, And also, Noel Gallagher played with us on the same day, and I love him and his music, so a lot of fun.
Speaking of, Noel, British artist, I know Sam Fender is a huge fan of yours. I believe it's mutual.
Yeah, I've heard some of his records, and it's great. And I have to see young kids coming up who, that's basically what I wanted to do. I said, well, I'm a small link in a big chain, and my job is to come out and to carry the flag for a little while, and you kind of hand it off to somebody else who's coming up next. And when I see somebody that's that talented, and that music has meant something to. That was the idea. I wanted to inspire people the way that I was inspired by pop music, and so it's always a treat.
Yeah, that keeps rolling as well. Obviously, we all took great inspiration from it. You did a great radio show during lockdown from my own to yours, which we loved. It's great, the stories you told, when records came to you.
Yeah.
Would you do more stuff like that?
Yeah, I got to get back to doing that. I did about 30 of them, and then, I got busy making records and doing some other things, But it was enjoyable, radio, the DJ is a mystical presence still for me, It's like, I love the idea of the DJ, who sort of was your conduit to all the artists that you love, particularly when I was young, and hey, you had a record player and you had the radio. You couldn't call up music and play it whenever you wanted to. You depended on your DJ, and you had really close relationships with the radio stations and DJs that you listened to when you were a kid. It was intimate, and I always felt like they were speaking to you. And so, I got a chance to go in and play a little bit of that part myself, and I'm doing it. I'm going to start doing it again shortly, I hope.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, that we find music through the music that people we loved as well, and I think that then spreads out, creates this beautiful ripple effect. And also there are records that, we had on the radio when we were young that you can still remember the first time you heard them.
Oh, of course.
The feelings that they evoke,
Yeah.
And it's not, I imagine some of the songs on this record have that meaning.
Well, it is. I still get a huge kick out of just hearing myself on the radio. These were all songs that I learned and heard first on the radio here. And to me, I always remember I was standing on a corner in Connecticut, and in the States, I was 23, and a guy pulled up at a red light, he had his window down, and I heard Spirit of the Night on the radio in his car, and I remember like, I made it. and so it's still a thrill for me. Even though I heard Do I Love You was on BBC here, it's like, yes, it's like, to sort of be in there and included in the pop music of the day. I still get a huge kick